welcome back! Today is the final day of Smudge. Dun dun dun! I will give you guys a few seconds to guess what character will be our focus for next week. Pause the video and comment your guesses down below. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, did you comment? Let's see if you were right. Next week we'll be doing 7 speed paints of Pine Star! You know, the ThunderClan leader that abandoned his clan to become a kitty pet? Yeah, that guy. I'm excited to breathe some life into this character and show you guys that he's less one-sided and selfish. Comment below some ideas that you'd like to see of Pine Star in speed paints. Anyways, let's get back to Smudge. This is his day after all. For this speed paint, we'll be continuing yesterday's scene from Firestar's quest where Smudge and Firestar come together again. So, last time we left off with Smudge, he was worrying about a dream that he had, and he came to see Firestar, who, coincidentally, had the same dream, of willing cats getting chased out. Firestar now knows that the cats were of SkyClan, and this was a vision of the past that he was seeing. In the part that I'll be reading to you today, Firestar asks Smudge if he can stay the night at the Two Lake place with him, so that he can get more in touch with the old SkyClan hunting grounds. The scene Rachel's drawing today is going to be of Smudge introducing Hattie to Firestar. She's the kitty pet that took Firestar's place when his Two Lakes decided to adopt a new kitten. I'll read the scene from the book to you guys now. It's Firestar's Quest, pages 74 through 88. I'll come back with you to your Two Lake nest, just in case any of those violent ruffians are still hanging about. Smudge looked down at his messy fur and gave it a few swift licks. Then he and Firestar padded side by side through the trees. As the Two Lake fence came into sight, Firestar spotted a vole pattering through the long grass. He made a swift pounce and straightened up with a limp body hanging from his jaws. He tried to push down the stirring feeling of pride that he had been able to show off his hunting skills in front of Smudge. His friend's eyes were wide, but not with admiration. Don't you ever get tired of having to catch your own food? Firestar dropped his fresh kill and scraped leaves over it so that he could collect it later. No, never. That's what warriors do. Smudge shrugged and went towards his nest. Catching up with him, Firestar spotted another cat, a pretty brown tabby jumping down from the fence around the Two Lake nest where he had once lived. He remembered seeing her before when he was showing the territory to his new apprentice Bramblepaw. Hi! Her amber eyes examined Firestar without a trace of fear. Who's this, Smudge? I've never seen him before. His name's Firestar. He lives in the forest. I'm called Hattie. I've never met a forest cat before. How do you know Smudge? I've known him since I was a kid, Firestar explained. I used to live here, in this Two Lake nest. Really? But this is my home now. Why did you leave? It's a long story. Firestar did not expect the kitty pet, even this lively tabby, to understand what had called him out of his safe life with his Two Lakes, to the danger and excitement of the forest. I've got time to listen. Firestar was aware that Smudge was close behind him, quivering with tension. Sorry, maybe another time. Hattie looked disappointed. Don't you want to see where you used to live? My Two Legs dug up a bush that was so old, its roots stretched nearly across the whole garden, and planted some new trees that are great for scratching. Firestar opened his jaws to refuse, but the words didn't come. He stood there silent, gazing at the fence. An old bush. How old? Suppose it had been here before the Two Lake nests were built. Did that mean that it was here when SkyClan lived in the forest? Were there any other remnants of SkyClan's former territory that might have survived? Firestar, why are you standing there with your mouth open? Sorry. For a moment, Firestar had been caught up in the lost world of SkyClan, gaping as if he expected prey to jump into his jaws. Okay, he added to Hattie. I'll have a quick look from the fence. Flicking his tail to Smudge. I won't be long. This might help with your dreams. Smudge looked doubtful and shot an anxious glance at Hattie. Don't worry, I won't tell her anything. He sprang up to sit on the fence and looked down into the garden. He remembered the bush now. It had been brittle and straggly, and some of the branches had been leafless. In the place where it had been, a new young tree was growing with soft, tempting bark. From his place on the fence, Firestar could see Hattie's claw marks scoring the trunk. Hattie leaped up beside him and pointed with her tail. That's where the bush used to be. There's the scratching tree. Oh, and there's another one next to Smudge's fence. That's even better. Well, what do you see? Smudge demanded. Nothing yet, Firestar admitted. He studied the Two Lake nests, trying to imagine what this part of the forest would have looked like before the trees were cut down. His eyes narrowed as he glanced up and down the row of nests. Smudge's nest lay in a slight dip, lower than the others. If Firestar had been leading a clan back then, he would have chosen that place for a camp. He would have wanted a sheltered hollow, perhaps with bramble bushes for extra protection, like the Wind Clan camp. He drew in a swift breath, feeling every hair on his pelt stand on end. Could Smudge's nest been built right on top of the old SkyClan camp? That might explain why he'd been dreaming so vividly about the fleeing cats. Smudge, is it okay if I stay with you for tonight? Of course! But will it be okay with the other cats in your clan? They'll be fine, I promise. I just think this will help me figure out, what we were talking about earlier. So that night, Firestar stays in Smudge's garden. And Smudge goes in to have his dinner. And the next morning, Firestar leaves. And he never sees Smudge again. These are their parting words. I'm really grateful, Firestar. You're a good friend. I'm glad I don't have to come out and live in the forest with you. I'm glad too. Firestar gave Smudge a friendly flick on the ear with the tip of his tail. I know you wouldn't like it. Goodbye then. I'll see you around sometime. Smudge began retreating towards the door of his nest. So, that's the scene. It's never been confirmed what happened to Smudge after this scene. It's possible that he's still alive to this day, hanging out with Hattie and the other neighborhood cats, having a grand old time. Interesting fact for you all. Wild cats live on average 4 to 5 years, but cats that are owned and have been taken for a trip to the cutters to get fixed and get all their shots, on average live to be around 15. Last week we focused on Princess, and since she was never brought to the cutters, that took away like 5 years from her life, so she only lived to be 8. So if you fix your cats, they're gonna live way longer, like to age 15. In fact, the longest living cat ever was a cat named Cream Puff, and they were born on August 3rd, 1967, and the cat lived to be 38 years old. And since Firestar died at age 8, I believe that Smudge greatly outlived his neighbor, despite the 9 lives granted him by StarClan. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this speed paint. I'd love to hear in the comment section down below how you think Smudge spent the rest of his days. Go and write some little stories. Well, that's all I have for you guys for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the next speed paint. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Alright guys, bye-bye!